Hello everyone, Zelrant here, and for today's video on Umamusume, now that we know the Taurus Cup is going to be the first Champions meeting coming out this August, I thought we'd go ahead and talk a little bit about it and what Umas you might want to bring, what kind of stats you're looking at trying to get for going into it, as well as looking at the skills a little bit. Now I've talked a lot about on the skills and kind of trying to loop them in. We'll kind of go a little bit into it here. I'll kind of showcase how things have gone for me, but I'll go more in depth on skills again as I kind of continue to have my videos showcasing how to make really good grandparents and parents. And so when we kind of just get into it here, we have the Taurus Cup here. Now I'll have a link to this reference document in the description. I've gone over it a few times now in other videos as well. This has a lot of good information in it, but the big one is its recommendations for Taurus Cup. And so the big first one, and I think this is what you're seeing a lot of people talk about, is the stamina requirements, that what you're going to want to have going into this one. And the big thing is, depending on what position they are in, will depend on how much stamina you want them to have. Now, if you have no gold stamina skills, these are going to be what they want you to have here. 950 for your front runner, 1000 for pace chaser, late surger 950, and closer 950. One of the big things that's going to make it very difficult is most people are going to be running what is called a debuffer, and it's going to be like a nice nature debuffer, which can do all kinds of things, one of them being reducing your stamina itself, which is why having an overabundance of it, plus having your hopefully swinging Maestro from Super Creek to kind of keep you up the par so you can actually get across the finish line without puttering out at that point. And so this will kind of give you an idea of where you want your stamina to be in good shape. This is pretty much required for these races, or you're not going to have a chance at winning with that one. Now, this isn't going to apply to, say, your nice nature if you build your own debuffer, which it's advised you do, as all you need the debuffer to do is be able to keep up enough to debuff. They're not going to be there to win. They're going to be there to be debuffing the other people's Umas. Because when it comes to the Champions meeting, it's different than Team Trials in that it's not about getting all of your Umas to place well. It's whoever's Uma wins, wins. You win when if one of your Umas wins. The other ones don't matter. And so that's all it is. Get one Uma to finish first place, regardless of what the other two do. And so this above chart assumes 400 guts. One of the big things, you should be able to hit 400 guts when you're chasing these high of stamina, because the stamina also gives you guts stats. And so you should be getting that. That's assumed because there is a little bit of a stamina tied to that. So a medium distance track, you'll want to get, probably also want to go 200 to 300 above this on non-end Umas to account for nice nature. So that's where you're seeing people go crazy on, like, especially if you don't have any golds. Like, the golds are pretty much mandatory because of a nice nature. Now, if you get lucky and don't get any, you'll have more than enough. But you're kind of trying to account for everything that you can run into. And so, as I said here, stamina versus speed. Stamina is very important. And if you run out of stamina, it doesn't matter how much your speed is. The difference is dramatic in how much they slow down. And so it is a very big deal you're hitting these thresholds. And so then it kind of goes into the recommended teams here. The biggest thing is that because the final leg of this starts before the final corner, it makes the Taiki Shuttle and Mruzinski ults very, very strong. And so these are ults that if you're not going to use Mruzinski or Taiki Shuttle themselves as one of your aces, then you're definitely going to want to get their ults into your aces. And so when you go to the recommended teams here, you can see front runner is going to be Mruzinski, Dawai Scarlet, Mayano Top Gun, with the inherited alt being Mruzinski's. Mruzinski's is the one that activates and can activate in first and second place. So if you're running in the lead, hers is going to be the one that help push you across the finish line. Now, one of the things it mentions here is this is going to be a harder position to play because we do not have Seiyun Sky in the game yet that you can use or borrow to get her alt on the front runner, which is what's going to give that extra boost to push him across. So just note it's going to be a harder position to play. Now, I'm debating on having a front runner Mruzinski in mine. And that is because another note they have down here, which is Pace Chaser. I am for sure going to probably have a Pace Chasing Taiki Shuttle with a Mruzinski alt on her. So she has the two strongest alts. And as you can see here, she is the second best in the Pace Chaser role. Mruzinski being the best, but she's going to be like very, very hard, especially if you're free to play to build as Pace Chaser. Because not only do you need to get a 9-star basically on medium, to get your medium S, you're going to also have to pull off that and good inspirations to get your Mruzinski pace up high enough so that she's adequate at that position, So Taiki Shuttles, for most people, going to be your best choices here, with Ogre Cap being the next one. And then you just want to inherit a Maruzensky Taiki Shuttle alt onto whoever you're using, as it gives them the big boost there. And so if you can get both of these onto them, you're going to be in good shape on your Pace Chaser, because it's going to be what helps boost them across the finish line. And then you have Late Surger, which has the ones mentioned here. This is where you have the same alts that you want to have, because they can still activate Maruzensky and Taiki Shuttle's alts as they're moving through to get to the front. But now you can tag on Major Orion. You got to have her at 3 stars, so you're most likely, if you're free to play and haven't pulled on Umas yet, have to borrow to get that. But that will be great in that Maru and Taiki's can work in 5th, and then Ryan's works in 6th. So this is going to give you a very good chance to get alts to pick up, to push them way up into the front there. And then when you get the end closer, it's Major Orion and Simbai Rudolph, because at that point they're going to be so far back when they're making their push. The alts, you're going to have to use the more end late surging alts versus being able to use your front running alts. And so those are kind of the ones here. And then you have the units here, like, the late surgers, Grass Wonder, Mayano, Top Gun, Oguri Cap, Rudolph, and Nice Nature. Nice Nature is different. You're going to build her different. You're going to build her for debuffing. So a lot of this doesn't matter for her. End closer, basically, Mayano, Top Gun, and Gold Ship are your choices, with your inheritance of Simbai Rudolph and Major Orion. And so it also has units to avoid here. Biway, Hayhide, Majiro, McQueen, and El Condorpasa. This is going to be tied to, like, their alts not being very good for this specific track itself. So you can use them as parents to build into your Umas, but you don't want their alts, and you don't really want to use them as your ace, because they're going to struggle a little bit more on this track. Now, you can make anyone work, just know they're going to be a little bit weaker. And unless you get lucky and you don't get somebody that's really built a fine-tuned one of these better ones, they're not going to do as well. Now, this is the part that I've kind of talked about a lot when it came to getting skills. And these are going to be kind of the different skills and the value they're going to bring overall to your teams for the race. And so as you can see here, you have your gold skills. So these are going to be the big ones that are going to help you like get the most distance. So like if you're a front runner, Escape Artist is pretty big. And this is kind of the length advantage it's giving you. So more length advantage is going to give you, the better. So you have like Escape Artist is good for front, and it does have right here in parentheses, so you can know if it's tied to a specific position. On your left for late, no stopping me, non-front, unrestrained front. Professor of Curvature. This is one that you can get from your, this one you can get on your Kitasan Black card, so a really big one to pick up right there. And then you got a bunch of other ones here as well. But the biggest ones, and the one that I've really been harping on, and this is the one that could make the difference. Now, it's going to be very hard to get a lot of these on there, but getting a good chunk of them is going to be very important to help you get across in first place. And that is these white skills. If you're doing a front runner, groundwork is like a huge piece of the entire puzzle of making a good front runner. And then this one's pretty easy to trigger based on the other skills you take. But if you want to have a front runner, this is like the bread and butter of it. You have to then use other skills like focus in that, because I believe it requires 3 other skills to activate for this one to trigger. So you can control triggering it. You just got to make sure you have the other skills to trigger it, but it's a massive advantage there. But the biggest ones that are going to just be generically good in all of them is going to be your medium straightaways and medium corners. And we'll take a look at some some support cards you can use to get these specific skills when you are building your Uma, especially the actual ace Uma versus your parents and grandparents. Then you have all your different corner styles, so the ones that can generically work on medium. Nimble Navigator for your non-fronts, Tail Held High, the straightaways. So this is when it has like a 1 circle. That's, as you know, some of these skills you can grab twice. So this is like if you get the skill twice when building it, you definitely want to do that with the medium straightaway and corners. But if you're not able to pull that off, it's going to be a little bit weaker here, as you can see down here. Then you have like Slipstream, Playtime's Over. These are kind of ones that I've been showing you that are on cards that are not as good to use on your ace when you're trying to get all your stats. So these are like the big ones that you're trying to get white sparks on your parents and grandparents so that you can have the potential to build them onto your ace. And then you have like Ramp Up, Highlander, Groundwork for your non-front, and corner after, and then you kind of have the rest. And same thing with the inherited uniques. Right at the tippity top here, you have the Maruzensky and Taiki Shuttle ones. You have Let's Pump Up Some Iron. This is for late end. This is that Majiro Ryan one that I mentioned up here. Massive boost for them. And if you're wanting to run someone late as your ace, you're definitely going to probably want to, if you don't have a 3-star Majiro Ryan, you're probably going to want to borrow someone to try and get this alt inherit onto them, because it's going to be very massive for helping them get the boost they need. Then you have like Oguri Caps. Like if you're using Oguri Cap as your late, hers is pretty good. Pair that with this one and you're going to be in good shape there. Then you kind of have the rest of them here. Then you have the green skills. And so these are ones that are a little bit easier to pick up to a certain extent, but also can be very important depending on what you currently have available to you. The biggest advantage, the biggest ones that you're going to see that are like mandatory that I've heard from some Japanese players is Spring Runner and left-handed. Spring Runner is going to be one of the easier ones to get, but also tricky at the same time, in that you can get it in any race you do that has that, when you look at the G1 Sparks, there's potential to trigger it in the race. But from what I've seen, it's fairly rare. But since it is possible to get it there, there's quite a few potential borrows, or if you can get it on your own Umas, to have good white sparks for this to help trigger it. You also have Majiro McQueen, which can get you it. She just naturally has it that you can hopefully build into her as a parent to carry on to them. But that one's going to be a very important one to pick up. There's 2 white sparks that can give it to. The Tenno Show G1 Spark has it, as well as just the natural skill Spring Runner Spark. Then you have a left-handed. Now this one is one that, if you've watched me on stream or any of that, it's one that, while it'd be nice to have the white spark, you do have a way to kind of get this one naturally when building your ace. And that is because, we'll take a look at it in game, but that is the Suzuka's card, the speed card, actually has it as an event. And so you can get it through the event. All you do is select the bottom option on the event and you get it. And I just got, I just pulled up Umamusume here. We'll take a look at it now. And everything else here is kind of just bonuses. Like sunny days, it's going to be a sunny day track. If you can get that, it's a little boost there. Not as important. Kind of same thing with firm conditions. It's going to be nice. Not super important, but nice. I mean, it's a 0.32 length. Lone Wolf will probably be good on your debuffer. If you put your Lone Wolf on your debuffer, while it's not going to help your ace be faster, it's going to prevent your opponent from being able to use Lone Wolf. Because if one person has Lone Wolf, it shuts down all other Lone Wolves. And so you have that. And those are kind of the most important ones there. So let's just actually take a look at it in game now. Let me move this over. Okay, so I have it up here. So one thing is, I seen in my last video, when I was talking about making parents and grandparents, a lot of feedback on that it's not worth the time. You're never going to get anything good on your Umas to kind of do this with the skills. The main thing you want to focus on is just getting the stats. I will say getting the stats is the #1 thing. If you do not have the stamina requirement and you're not at 1200 speed and your guts is like 100 for some reason, you should easily be able to hit the guts limit because it's not as important. And you don't have like 400 wit for triggering all your skills, yes, you're going to struggle just because of the nature of your stats being bad. But the skills, those are just a default to be able to basically finish the race decently. If you want to have a better shot at winning, getting good skills is very important, especially the ones like left-handed and Spring Runner that are fairly easy to get to a certain extent, as well as some of those other ones that are like medium corners and that. And so just getting that little bit of an edge can help you. Now, are you going to get all of them? That's one thing. I think people are assuming that I'm saying you're going to be able to loop these in and you're going to get every single one of these skills in. And that is not the case. That is 100% not what I'm trying to do. And I'm going to kind of show what I've been working on as kind of my example here. And actually, first, let's look at my kind of some of the decks I've been messing with here. So the main deck that I'm doing for building my parents/grandparents here is this one right here. And so you'll see that there's the big one right here. I really like this card right now for this track. There's 2 really big advantages of this one. The first one is it's one of the main ways that you can get left-handed. You get this event, you get left-handed, you're good. The other thing, and this is what's going to make it very good for your ace when you're building your ace. Your ace is all about getting stats. And since you're focused on getting stats, you want to do the trainings that are getting those stats. You want to do your speed training. You want to do your stamina training. You most likely want to just bounce back and forth between those 2 and only hit those ones. You want to avoid having to hit guts You only want to hit wit when there's nothing better to do. That way you'll be able to get to your 400 wit and not really waste too much of your energy hitting it. And you want to avoid power to a certain extent. Power's not terrible, but because hitting your speed and power can level them up so you get even more stats as you use them, those are very important. What makes this card very good, one, it's a speed card. So once you max out her, she will be able to give you rainbows on speed alongside Kita-san Black. The other thing is, if you're not building a front runner, all of her hints are bad for you effectively. They're all front runner hints. And so for my Pace Chaser ace that I'm going to be making with Taiki Shuttle, I don't have to worry about hints. And so the nice thing is, if I see her hint, I don't have to worry about it, especially if it's on something like Guts. Now, that's where these white sparks are coming into advantage. Having good parents and grandparents with the skills you need means you don't have to chase the hints as much, which makes this one great. It means you can chase the stats, not the hints. And since this is an event for left-handed, it'll just pop up. When you get the event, you get the event. Now, there's RNG to getting it, so it's not guaranteed. But this isn't going to force you to hit a gut spark or hit the guts stat to get the hint. So really good card for not only here to try and get left-handed on it, but ace as well. Then we have the other one. This is one that'll be very good. You will have to hit it when you get hints for it. But what's really nice about this is it has 3 really good skills here. 2 of the big important ones, medium straightaways and medium corners. And this is a wit card, so it's not terrible, because you are going to want to hit wit every so often. And you also have up tempo, which is another good medium one here. The other thing that makes it good is it's very limited on skills, meaning you have a higher chance of getting it. So this is one of the few that when I'm building my ace, I will actually hit for hints to make sure I can get medium straightaways and medium corners on my ace. But then you have the bad cards, the ones I don't want to use on my ace, but have good skills on them that I want potentially to be able to get through inherits. This is one of them right here. It's NS Fusion here. And so this one has playtime's over, like one of the only places you can get it right now, which gives a decent boost. This will be a nice to have. These are all nice to haves. If I can get one of these to inherit from inspiration, that'll be great. So I got playtime's over, Slipstream, and Steadfast kind of getting built into there. All 3 of them good. I'm using this on any of my parent and grandparent builds, or even, as we'll call it, great-grandparents, which are the ones I'm building to build my grandparents. Really good card for that. And I've been using it, and it's been working quite fine with me. And I'll show you some of my Umas to kind of show that this can work. Marvelous Sundays, another good one. This is one that I don't want to have to use on my ace, but has some decent stuff on it. Tail Held High, really good skill that hopefully I can pull off getting this in inspiration. Really nice one to help out. Straightaway Adept and Ramp Up. All of them pretty good. Of course, you got Kita-san Black. Really good card. Doesn't have too many skills you want, but it does have Corner Recovery. Has Straightaway Recovery, so you get your recovery skills off of it. Corner Adept. This is the #1 borrow if you do not have MLB. To get that, you'll get your skills there. And then if you do have a front runner, I guess you have front runner straightaways on it as well. So those are kind of my core ones, but there's some other ones you can work with as well that I've been kind of looking through, because I know not everybody has all of these cards. On the SR side, hopefully you should have most of them if you pulled on Kita-san Black. But if you actually take a look, let's go look at the rest of the cards, at least the ones I have. I don't have all the SRs. There's some that I actually don't have. If you're building a front runner, for example, this one's a good one to try and get some front runner skills onto your parents and grandparents here. And then you have like this wit card, I think has, yeah, it's 777s. If you for some reason get 777s is a really nice one. Although it's really the only big thing on here, I think. You have the late surger one, small breather, and that. So not too bad. Let's see. Trying to find the other ones that I've looked at that you can use. Here's one that has Steadfast, Sunny Days, Up Tempo, Late Surger Savvy. So this is a good one you could use to pick up some skills for possible inherits in there. As I said, when you're building your parents and grandparents, you're not having to build them to be a really good racer. You're just trying to get those 600 thresholds that have a chance at 3 spark and getting as many good skills on them as possible that are good for your whatever the champions meeting you're building for is, which this one's currently a medium one. That's Sunny on turf, and it's firm and 2400 meters. So you're looking for those skills. And there's some other ones in here. We don't have to go over all of them. Now I want to kind of show the Umas that I've been building, And I've been doing these on stream, so if you want to see this in action, you can actually watch me on my stream, which I will be streaming later today. Let's just look at it, because I know I've seen a lot of people saying it's not worth the effort to just get the stats. And so this is just going to look at like the last couple days that I've been farming for grandparents and parents. And I will say, I feel like I'm in good enough shape. If I wanted to, I could start building my ace right now. I'm not going to, because I'm still trying to fine tune them a little bit more. But I feel like just in the last few days, I've gotten enough decent parents and grandparents to make it work. And so we can kind of start with, so I started trying out some different things. Like you can see me messing around to kind of figure out different Umas and which one I find better for building them. You have this one. So this one came out long, but it has Tenno Spring, corner recovery. But when you look at the skills here, I'm hitting a lot of the good ones. Medium corners, up tempo, straightaway adept, professor of curvature, firm conditions, left-handed. Didn't get lucky on the RNG. That's the thing everybody keeps telling me. Didn't get lucky on the RNG. But remember, you can do 4 of these a day. Same thing. I pulled off a lot of those good skills here. Late surge survey, up tempo, medium straightaways. I took some skills on this one's kind of me messing around with things. Unrestrained's a front runner one. I've kind of moved away from wanting the front runner skills. Left-handed. So unlucky on the RNG. But slowly as you kind of do them, you will eventually start seeing some good ones. So it took me, what, like 6 runs. So basically a day and a half of runs to get this one. Now you're going to say this one's bad right off the bat, but it's not. And I can kind of explain why. So this one's one. It's a 1-star stamina. Now, this is one thing you're just going to have to accept if you're wanting to really kind of farm for the skills. I was happy that it was stamina. That's just going to give me a little boost there. But it has a ton of the important sparks on it. And so this one's a good grandparent / what I'll call a good great grandparent, which is meaning when I'm building my ace, this one's not going to be taken into consideration when it comes to sparks for the ace. Great grandparents for looping in to build your grandparents. So this one got playtimes over, tail held high, steadfast, ramp up, corner adept, corner recovery. Corner recovery. It got the Hanshin JF, which is a speed power spark, NHL speed power spark. This one's got the Hanshin race course. I mean, this will be a very good one. It'll have when we have one that's doing that race course. That doesn't matter for this one. But then I did get standard distance as well. So almost every one of these white sparks is good. Then I have, under the legacy here, another Uma with playtimes over. And like I said, this is a good grandparent / great grandparent, meaning this one falls off. As soon as I build a better Uma with this one falls off. So it doesn't matter that it's a 1-star wit. It's not going to be included when I'm building my ace. So 2 good skills here. Corner adept, playtimes over. Really good things to spark. This one has medium, which is good. The nice thing about some of these bad ones is it doesn't have any really white sparks that are useless. Because though if having a ton of white sparks is good on your generic parent, but when you're fine-tuning it for champions meeting, you only want white sparks that are useful. So that way, when it picks the random ones through inspiration, you have a lot higher odds of hitting the ones that you want. And so overall, really good. Really, really good. And being 1-star stamina, I can make this one work as a grandparent if I wanted to. But I have been working on getting better grandparents and parents. And that's what you can kind of see from here or there. I started using this one, building my other ones. As you can see, didn't get as lucky on this one because it came out as a Guts 1-star. But I got Slipstream, Sunny Days, Standard Distance, Japanese Cup, which is the Tokyo race course spark. Nakayama race course. So eventually if there's a Nakayama one, it'll be good. Straightaway adept. Really good one. Got kind of lucky on the Guts. And then from there, I hate Winning Ticket. Winning Ticket is very hard to win with. It came out as nothing but garbage. That was just her losing like every race. I can't stand Winning Ticket. Then I had Agnes Techion again here. This one I popped a 3-star medium. Really, really good. 1-star stamina. Got Tenno Spring, Corner Adept, Slipstream. Really, really nice. Another really nice one to use to build my grandparents and parents as I'm looping them through. And this was using a borrowed McQueen, which has Tenno, which is Spring Runner skill itself, Standard Distance, and Firm Conditions. So all really good skills here. And so now this is another one that I can use to continually loop to get another parent / grandparent. And that's just kind of some examples here. My latest big one, I think we were... Yeah, that was this one we were looking at, right? Yeah. And then now I've kind of started looking at... I tried again on her. Super Creek's kind of hard to play a little bit to a certain extent. I've had some bad luck with her. But I've also now started trying to build my parent. Because guess what? Now, I haven't been lucky on my parent yet. But I am trying to make a Maruzinski parent for Taiki Shuttle. And this is the legacies I'm using for it. If everything comes out good here, I will have grandparents that has Penosho Spring, Slipstream, Corner Adept, Penosho Spring, Standard Distance, Firm Conditions, Spring Runner, and hopefully I have on Maruzinski all the other good ones, because this one right here is this one, which means when I'm training my Maruzinski, I have a shot at getting playtimes over, tail held high, ramp up, steadfast, but it's going to fall off. And so the hope is that I hit a Maruzinski that has medium stars, hopefully, even if it's 1 star, power or stamina. Hopefully it hits power, stamina, 1 star, and then I get a few of those skills on there, playtimes up and all that. And so not only can I spark them from that, but I'm also using my card deck here. I'm using this card deck, so I have a chance of getting those skills on her from not only sparking them, but from the cards. And then when I finally get a good Maruzinski, guess what? I'm done. I'm ready to start building my ace. And the way I already have it, I can start building my ace right now. It's just not going to be as good as I could get it. So I'm just going to keep farming a little bit. And then when we have about a week out from Champions meetings, I'm going to start building my aces. And that's just how it works at this. Nobody's going to have a perfect one at this point. I'm not. But you can, as I just showed there, get some of the skills on sparks and then carry some of them through. You're not going to get all of them. It's completely fine. But yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts on it. Just let me know your thoughts on it. I know this is kind of hardcore grinding if you're using all of your runs per day. If you're just doing like 1 or 2 runs per day, it's not going to be as easy. But that's it for now. If you like my content, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.